Good Erev Shabbos, dear friends, community. Again, a pleasure to share a few words of Torah with you in preparation for Shabbos. The Saturday, of course, is a very special one, as the Torah reading is maybe the center point of every aspect of Jewishness and every important factor of the Torah that is contained therein. Revelation and the Ten Commandments. God comes down on Sinai and he asks Moses to come up Sinai and transmits the Torah to the Jewish people. Via first his own sound, God himself proclaims the Ten Commandments, whether in 10 different commandments or all integrated into one, various opinions of what the actual God's voice that the Jewish people heard was. Nonetheless, revelation. As we have already begun the Torah in Genesis, Bereshit, in the beginning, God creates. So our classic commentator on the Torah tells us, why does it say Bereshit? Because that word contains two words, Beis, Reshit. Two, Beis is two in Hebrew, two firsts, referring to the Jewish people that are referred to as first in the text, and referring to the Torah that is considered the first in the text. And as such, the entire purpose of creation was to reveal the Torah and to live according to the Torah, and for the Jewish people to implement that through their mission that God places in the world to do. And we read the Ten Commandments that contains moral issues, ethical issues, spiritual matters, all integrated in those Ten Commandments. And according to our tradition, there are 613 letters in the Parashat, the portion of the Ten Commandments, indicating that every single mitzvah in some nuclear fashion was already contained in its potential at Revelation. At that moment, everything came into being. All purpose was fulfilled. The Jew was fulfilled, the world is being fulfilled, the Torah is being fulfilled, and God's mission is being brought into practice. And it's very interesting that this holy portion, that as you say is the center point of the Torah, is called by a name of Yitro. Who is Yitro? It was Moses' father-in-law. He was also the chief high priest of Midian. He was not only the high priest of Midian, he was one of Pharaoh's advisors. He was one of the most powerful secular leaders of the world at that time. Not only that, but the Torah tells us specifically, when he said, I know now that God is greater than all gods, because Yisro was acquainted with every philosophy, every belief, every theological concept. All of that already was contained in Yisro's knowledge. Knowing all that, he accepted, he said, now I know that there's a true God. Why is that portion his name? It would have been more appropriate if we named the portion that the Torah is given Moses instead of Yisro. Why Yisro? So there are many interpretations. I just want to touch on one. The objective of the Torah is not to separate the world into its spiritual state. It was not to isolate people who are connected with holiness and spirituality and godliness and put them on a pedestal or put them on an island. The objective of Torah is to impact the world, to raise society, to change behavior, to really affect the physicality of the world, so that this physical, seemingly disconnected, independent world that can, God forbid, reject God, as we know, accepts Hashem. And within their physicality, we elevate that physicality to the service of Hashem. Everything that God gave us can be used for holy purposes. People like to eat Shabbos, it's a mitzvah to eat. It's a mitzvah to get married and to have children. It's a mitzvah to give tzedakah and to have the capacity to give tzedakah. God put us in this world to conquer the world, but not only to become the most powerful material environment, to be able to imbue that environment with Torah. And that's why the portion is called Yisro. It's not so important for Moses to be connected to Torah. For holiness, it's not so important for Torah to be part of the synagogue rules, part of your ritual life. It's important for Torah to be your life in in your business environment, in your office, in your spaces, in your relationships, in your conduct, in every single aspect. And that gives us another perspective that might be interesting to note. The world is in chaos, extraordinary chaos. If it's not humans creating the chaos, wars, battles, civil unrest, unhappiness, migration, crazy things that are going on in the world that's never happened before in a very distorted manner. Every part of the world is chaotic. Now, the natural aspect of it, the nature of the world has become chaotic. Earthquakes, floods, storms, unbelievable factors that we've never experienced before. What's going on here? What's happening? We just celebrated the Rosh Hashanah for trees, the holiday for the trees. In the same way as trees come from the earth, and they affect the earth, ecology, systems, all affected by growth. As we know, sunlight, all the factors of us being able to absorb the energy that we need to bring the purity of air, all depends on how the foliage works. The tree's health also creates balance in the world, not only balance in the tree. The human being is like the tree of the field. As the Torah says, we affect the physical world. Our energy affects the world. When we are at peace and when we are living a life that's normal, organized, structured, within the confines of godliness and holiness, the world follows suit as well. It's time to take that into real serious notion. Let us take our holiness seriously. Let us take the Torah and bring it into our world, to learn it and to do it. The most important thing is not how much you know, it's how much you implement your knowledge into your behavior. Have a wonderful Shabbos. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you in Shul.